need to get you out of here before he runs out of pretty things to break.
We observe a man who is complimenting a young woman, and he tells her that she is exceptionally beautiful. And he also mentions that he is in the process of producing a new movie, for which he is currently scouting for a leading lady. For this reason, the man wants this girl to come for an audition, to see if she is suitable for the role of the heroine or not. And the young woman begins to be convinced by his words. We are then introduced to Sergeant John O'Mara, and John is a police officer, and he has been monitoring this specific man for a considerable period. This is because he is aware of this is the man's criminal activity. He deceives naive young women and lures them to his hotel with the false promise of a film audition. For this reason, John watches as this man leads the girl away from that spot. Then he begins his pursuit of him. But after some time, that man leads the girl and enters the hotel. Then John also prepares to enter. Then his partner tries to stop him and warns that you should not set foot inside this hotel, because this particular hotel is owned by Mickey Cohen. And if he ever discovers what you have done, then serious trouble will be created for absolutely everyone. But John replies that saving that girl's life is far more important to me. For that reason, he proceeds to go inside the building. We then see the criminal, who has brought the girl into a room. Then several other men also begin to corner the girl, and this group of men all attempt to sexually assault her. Then John arrives there just in the nick of time, and he begins to fight everyone off, one after another, and leaves them all injured, and takes the girl and prepares to leave. His superior officer becomes angry with John and tells him that you should not have taken this action, because we did not possess a proper warrant, and we are not supposed to interfere with Mickey's operations. Then Mickey's personal lawyer shows up there, and he collects these 3 criminals and departs, and the police were completely powerless to stop him. Then John becomes incredibly furious. Then Sergeant Jerry arrives at the station, who happens to be a close friend of John. Then he begins to try and calm him down, and explains that you have only recently arrived here, and you will gradually learn what you are permitted to do and what you must not do. Because of this, John heads home. We then learn that John previously served in the military, and he is a veteran of the Second World War. But following the conclusion of the war, he decided to join the police department, and he now resides with his wife. Her name happens to be Connie, and when Connie notices that there are fresh bruises on John's body, then she begs him to be more careful, because Connie is expecting to become a mother very soon. Then we see Jerry, who makes his way to a restaurant, and this particular restaurant is an establishment of Mickey Cohen. And upon arriving here, he has a meeting with a man named Jack, who is an employee of Mickey. But Jack also serves as Jerry's confidential informant. For this reason, now Jerry begins to question him regarding Mickey. What has Mickey been involved with lately? It's for this reason Jerry spots a woman here. Her name happens to be Grace. He then asks Jack about who this woman is. Then Jack informs him that she is Mickey's personal tutor, who instructs him on how he should interact with other people, because Mickey's social and business circles are with the most influential people in the entire city. For this reason, he wants to ensure he behaves properly with these people. But now Jerry finds himself drawn to Grace. For this reason, he can't stop looking at Grace. Then after a short while, Grace walks over to the bar for some drinks, and Jerry approaches him, and he strikes up a conversation with her. And Grace seems to enjoy Jerry's conversation, because he is able to make her laugh quite a lot. And now Grace also feels a certain attraction toward Jerry. For that reason, we shift our focus to John on the other side, who receives a message that he is being summoned by Chief Bill Parker. Then John goes to see Parker. Then Parker says to him that you have performed an exceptionally brave act, that you are the very first officer who has boldly entered his territory, beat his men, and then arrested them. For this reason, I want you to carry on with this work. But you cannot perform this duty while wearing a police uniform, because Mickey has a hold on all the government officials, so he has the power to stop us. For this reason, I want you to form a completely separate unit, and there will be absolutely no rules or regulations for this unit. You will have the authority to do whatever you deem necessary. I simply want you to dismantle Mickey Cohen's entire empire. For this reason, this choice is entirely up to you. That's what you are going to do, and you are free to select anyone from the whole police force. And if you wish to recruit an outsider, then you will have the clearance to bring him in. Then after considering these words, John also accepts, and he begins to review the files of every police officer. Then we see Jerry on the other side, and Grace is there right beside him, and the two of them are very close. and we can tell that the two of them have grown quite intimate. But Jerry still has not revealed to Grace that he is in fact a police officer. But Grace confides in him about her whole situation, that she had never wanted to get involved with Mickey, but now she feels completely ensnared in Mickey's web. For this reason, she is forced to remain with him. Otherwise, he has threatened to murder her entire family. Then we see John, who has begun the process of selecting all his team members. For this reason, he approaches Jerry before anyone else, and he explains the entire plan to him. Then Jerry tells him that this is a suicide mission. Do you have any idea who Mickey is? He does not even need to know that we are working against him. Then he would not hesitate for a second to kill us, and we would be the first ones to die. For this reason, Jerry turns him down. For this reason, John goes to Lieutenant Coleman Harris. Harris is a skilled expert with knives, and also with firearms, and he has completed many courageous missions. Then John goes to see a man named Max. Max was also a police officer, but he is now in retirement. But his marksmanship has been legendary everywhere, and people all say that his aim is flawless, and it doesn't matter how far his target is, but his shot will never once miss. For this reason, John explains the entire situation to him. Then Max delivers a very long speech and informs him that he will absolutely not join his squad. But John once again tells him that this is their one and only chance, because if they are unable to stop Mickey, then he is going to cause trouble for absolutely everyone, and it will become impossible for anyone to live here. Then after hearing these words, Max finally agrees. But he makes a condition that his protege will also be with him, and his name is Rummy Reyes. Then John also accepts this condition, and the two of them officially join the squad. Then John approaches his final potential member. His name is Conwell, and Conwell is an electronics wizard, and he is able to tap into anybody's phone line, and he can install a listening device in anyone's residence. And when he explains his entire plan to Conwell, then he also agrees to become a part of their team. Then we see Mickey, who is in a meeting with one of his rivals, and now he makes a threat to him, and declares that the day is not far off when he will be the sole king of this town, and nobody will be able to oppose him. Then his rival tells him that you are making a big mistake, and you ought to remain within your own territory, like the rest of us are doing. Then Mickey says that very soon, you will all witness your own downfall. Then we see John, who has formulated a new plan, and his first objective is to raid Mickey's casino. For this reason, he leads all of his men inside. Then he observes that there are numerous police officers inside this casino, and these are all dirty police officers, who Mickey has on his payroll. For this reason, all the people hand over their guns, and they all attempt to flee from there. But these corrupt officers manage to capture John and Harris, and they escort them to the police station. Then we see Jerry, and Jerry is just walking along the street. Then he encounters a young boy, who shines shoes in order to support his family. For this reason, Jerry decides to get his shoes shined. Then the boy warns him that you should get out of here, because Mickey is planning to have all his rivals murdered tonight, so that he can declare himself the king of this town. Then Jerry hands him a bit of money, and tells him that you should get out of here first. Then Mickey's enforcers show up here, and they begin shooting at absolutely everyone, so that they can assassinate his competitors. And they very efficiently kill his competitors. But there are so many stray bullets here, that one of these bullets strikes the little boy. Then Jerry rushes over to the small boy, but that little boy is very seriously wounded. For this reason, he passes away in Jerry's arms. For this reason, he draws his own pistol, and he corners every one of Mickey's men. Even after this, his fury is not satisfied. Then he goes to the restaurant where Mickey is staying, and now he is prepared to kill Mickey as well. Then Jack steps in front of him, and says that what are you planning to do? You will not be able to successfully kill Mickey. Then Jerry also begins to calm down a little. Then we see John and Harris, who have now been thrown inside a jail cell. But his other team members are nearby, and now he is attempting to free them, but she is unable to get inside. For this reason, Jerry gets the information. For this reason, he goes down to the police station, and claims that I am one of Mickey's people. For this reason, I have come to collect them. Then he is preparing to leave with them. That is when Mickey's actual men arrive here. For this reason, a gunfight breaks out here. But Jerry manages to escape with John and Harris, and says that he also wants to be a part of the squad, and wishes to bring down Mickey. That's when we see Mickey's new scheme, and he is installing a new telephone system, so that people can stay in their homes and gamble, and the police will have no knowledge of it. And this is the way he desires. to corrupt the citizens of the entire city. But on the other hand, John also is prepared with his own team. That is why, one by one, he begins to blow up all of Mickey's secret locations, and he is systematically destroying all of his various businesses. But Mickey's criminal empire is so vast that he is unconcerned about these minor setbacks, and they also realize this. That is why they come to a decision that now we must place a bug inside Mickey's house so that we can overhear every word he speaks and execute the plan that will truly damage Mickey. That is why all these men go to Mickey's residence at night, and they successfully plan a listening device there. But just as these men are leaving, that is when Grace happens to spot Jerry. But these men quickly depart, and now they begin to eavesdrop on Mickey. That's when they learn that a very large shipment of Mickey's drugs is scheduled to arrive in the city. That's when they realize this is the perfect opportunity. That's why these men get to this location, and they manage to destroy all the trucks carrying the drugs. Then after hearing about this, Mickey is devastated because he has taken an enormous financial hit, and he is unable to figure out who has become so audacious. That's why he assigns all of his men to the job, so that he can identify the person who is responsible for all this destruction. The men are now focused on their next move. They find out that Mickey is installing a new telephone system that will allow citizens to place bets from their homes. Realizing how dangerous this could be, they decide the plan must be sabotaged. Conwell tells them that to disable the entire network of telephone lines, they'll have to destroy the headquarters. Conwell immediately gets to work and discovers where the headquarters is located. As soon as he finds out, the group goes to a particular bar whose basement houses the operation. They quietly begin dismantling everything, but while doing so, they stumble upon a large stash of cash. They set the money on fire. When Mickey hears the news, he is devastated and can't figure out who is targeting him. He begins to suspect the police. He also realizes someone on the inside is leaking information because every time they plan something, their enemies seem to know their moves and transaction locations. Grace overhears this and quickly flees. Mickey, meanwhile, starts tearing apart his own house in a rage. After a thorough search, his suspicions are drawn toward Mike. Grace meets up with Jerry and explains everything. Jerry then reveals to her that he is a police officer and shares his entire plan. Grace decides she must leave the city. Jerry brings her to Jack and asks him to keep her hidden and safe. He reasons that if she stays with Jack, Mickey will never suspect anything, as he wouldn't think to search his own man's home. Jerry leaves, and the team resumes listening in on Mickey's house. They discover a new deal is being arranged and head to the location. There, they realize Mickey has set this up intentionally to kill them. He fed false information through the bug so they'd walk into a trap. A massive explosion scatters them, and they fear Mickey will hunt them down one by one. They notice that Conwell is still on his own and rush to find him, but Mickey reaches him first and kills him. Seeing this, John is consumed with rage. He understands that if Mickey isn't stopped soon, they'll all die. John goes to Mickey's residence, but finds Mickey has disappeared. Some people arrive and inform John that his own home has been attacked. He rushes there and finds his wife unharmed, and their baby has just been delivered safely. Although they're okay, he is furious that Mickey dared to target his family. The mayor eventually learns of the situation, and news spreads that the police department orchestrated the earlier actions. Everyone involved, including Parker, is suspended. John becomes even more distressed and arranges for his wife to leave the country, knowing Mickey could come after them. John then meets with Jerry to plan their next move. Grace arrives and tells Jerry that Jack has been killed. Jack was in hiding when they came, so he witnessed everything. The man who killed Jack was Mickey himself. Grace declares she is now willing to testify that Mickey murdered Jack in front of her, and that he must be punished. Hearing this, John feels some relief. He tells Jerry they have until midnight. They're suspended today, but their shift officially ends at 12 o'clock. Until then, they still have the authority to arrest Mickey. They track down one of Mickey's henchmen and threaten him. Terrified, he reveals Mickey's location. They head there and discover it's a huge hotel, heavily guarded by Mickey's men, all armed and ready to shoot. John and his squad know they only have until midnight, so they act immediately. John opens fire, and the gunmen fire back. The firefight is intense, and many of Mickey's men are killed. Seeing his forces dwindling, Mickey realizes the police are serious this time, and came to arrest him. He plans to flee the country, grabs a gun, and bursts out of his room shooting. In the chaos, Max is hit, drawing everyone's attention. Mickey uses the distraction to get into a car and speed away. John spots him, jumps onto the car, breaks the glass, and attacks the driver. The vehicle crashes and comes to a stop. A man emerges and shoots John, about to kill him. But Max, despite being badly wounded, shoots the attacker from a distance and kills him. Mickey stands before John and taunts him, asking whether he'll fight like a man or keep attacking from the shadows. Mickey, once a professional boxer, is confident he can defeat John easily. They begin to fight. At first, Mickey brutalizes John, but when John finally loses his temper, he fights back with overwhelming force. He breaks Mickey down piece by piece. A crowd gathers, along with journalists. Everyone watches as John beats Mickey mercilessly, as if he were just a common thug. Mickey is left severely injured. Realizing the entire city has witnessed his humiliation, he begins to cry. He knows his reign of fear is over and that he will never command respect again. The police take Mickey into custody and file every possible charge against him. He is sentenced to life in prison. In jail, he is repeatedly tormented by other inmates, many of them friends of Jack. The members of the Gangster Squad remain anonymous to the public, and most are reinstated as police officers. Jerry, however, chooses not to return to the force and starts a new life with Grace. John also resigns and goes to be with his wife, living out his life with her. And with that, the film ends. Our story opens as a scene from 1949 appears before our eyes. It is here we are introduced to Mickey Cohen, who is in the middle of viciously torturing two individuals. This is because the pair had approached Mickey with a business proposition, and they suggested that Mickey should contain his criminal operations to Los Angeles, and he must not expand his reach into Chicago. This was because their boss already runs a gang in Chicago, and their boss wishes to avoid any potential conflict between them. Mickey is an incredibly obstinate and headstrong individual, and he has no desire for his influence to be confined only to Los Angeles. Therefore, he has no interest in reaching any kind of compromise. He beats them with extreme cruelty, and then he proceeds to murder one of them, and purposefully lets the other one live, and explains that you know the reason I have spared your life. It is so you can return to your boss and describe exactly what kind of person Mickey Cohen is, and that nobody can make a deal with him. Mickey does whatever he pleases. And very soon, I plan on targeting your boss directly. Next,